Hey guys, how are you today? Now, the video I am about to show you, do for you, is it's an introduction into my life and why I am hosting this channel, why I'm doing the Mindful Baker, and why it's so important to me, and why I want everyone to subscribe and everyone to effectively get something out of it. So I guess, I started the Mindful Baker at the start of the coronavirus outbreak because I wanted to give people something to do during their isolation. And making bread, so the bakery part of the Mindful Baker, is such an amazing way to help you. And a lot of people have done it. A lot of people messaged me from it. A lot of people showed me some great bread that they made. And I'm so glad that I managed to give people things to do during the isolation. Now, as we are slowly coming out of the isolation, I don't know if we are going to come out completely, and I don't know what's going to happen if we do. That's obviously all by and by, and I'm not going to comment on any of that. But as we are slowly coming out of it, I just want people to realise that the Mindful Baker isn't always going to be about baking. I know, obviously, I have done a few videos which obviously haven't got that many views yet because, I haven't really started. It was only in the last sort of week or so that I've suddenly realised that this is something I really want to do and I really want to put forward. I still want to call it Mindful Baker, and yeah, I have done, like I said, I've done some exercise videos. I'm very into my exercise, and I've been doing mindfulness stuff as well. So I want to kind of integrate the whole thing to show how you can be mindful and exercise, how you can be mindful and cook, how you can be mindful and bake, how you can be mindful and just have a good time. Because mindfulness isn't always about, these sort of yogis who just sit there and cross-legged meditating the whole time. That's not what mindfulness is all about. Mindfulness doesn't have to be about meditation at all. I think meditation is incredible. I do 20 minutes every morning, and it's got me to where I am now because it just helps me focus on myself every morning and helps me sort of set all of the tasks for the day, and it's incredible. And I will obviously and I have put some mindfulness meditations into some of my posts, but I will be doing more, and I'll be showing people how to do it. But it's also, I want people to realise that this channel is not like I was saying, a yogi type thing. It's me, the Mindful Baker, Tim. I'm here to show people that you can have a lot of fun. You can still get drunk, you can still swear, you can still have arguments with people, but as long as you do it mindfully, and obviously afterwards you can mindfully assess yourself, and if you've been in a position that you didn't enjoy, and you can learn how to mindfully observe yourself when you're in it and go, well, this is where I went wrong last time, this is how I can get out of it. And obviously, like I said with drinking, getting absolutely mindlessly drunk is not particularly mindful. But it's nothing wrong with drinking, there's nothing wrong with getting drunk. I do. I have got mindlessly drunk in the past, and the next day, mindfully, I've sort of looked at myself and said, well, that was just unnecessary. I need to do that? And hopefully I won't do it that much more. But anyway, the mindfulness part is such an important aspect of it, along with the baking. I adore the baking and I adore the mindfulness. And so that's why I thought the Mindful Baker. But I'm putting everything else together. But before I sort of put out new videos and everything, I want to tell people why it is I'm here and why it is I'm doing this and why and how I got into mindfulness. And that starts all the way back 13 years ago after I left university. I went out to do a ski season in Maribel in France. Now, I had just done a law degree at university, and the whole point of, after my ski season, after I'd sort of had one last sort of kick out and have fun, I was going to become a lawyer. But obviously what happened on this ski season completely changed my life. So ski season started in the November, and so it was November 2006. And went out. I was working for a ski chalet company. I was doing it with another friend from university, and it was going well. Yeah, had a good 3 or 4 months out there. And then in the February, so maybe only 3 months, in the February, I went out skiing with two of my season-air friends. And it was this particular day where the bad thing happened, which completely changed my life and is effectively why I'm here today. So I shall explain it as best I can. So it was a Saturday, which is the best day if you want to go skiing, if you're doing a ski season, because that's changeover day. And luckily I wasn't changing and run over because my job title was general assistant, which meant that I didn't have to really look after guests. That was fine. And so I went off with two other friends. We got a ski lift up one side of the mountain, and it was just one of those city on ski lifts, not like one where you completely inside standing up. And then we got to the top of that, and then there was another sort of incline which we then climbed up, like just took our skis off and climbed it up because we wanted to do some off-piste skiing. And we climbed up to the top, and at the top of this incline, this is my only memory of the day. So I don't mean to think it's unnecessary for me to say it, but it's my only memory, so I shall tell you. At the top of the incline, I remember going to have a piss on the white snow and turning it yellow. That's my only memory from the whole day, because all the other memories have been filled in and I've been told about from the two guys who were with me. So anyway, we then got skiing, skied down the slope, and then we went back up and did it again. And it was on the second time down where things got a little bit nasty. So it had been a really bad season for snow, and so there was hardly sort of any deep snow anywhere. But the night before this accident, there had been a big downpour, so there was snow everywhere. So it looked absolutely beautiful and white. But so I got about halfway down, and I was on the side of a cliff at the time, and I managed to hit a rock. And the only reason I hit the rock, because obviously I wouldn't normally hit a rock if there's one in front of me, I'd be like, maybe ski past it, because the snow had fallen on top, but it hadn't submerged it because it had literally only been there the night before. So I hit the rock. I was on the side of a cliff. I snapped my cruciate ligament. I was skiing down the left side, snapped my left leg cruciate ligament, and I fell head first, 15 foot, and I hit a rock at the bottom. I screamed, obviously, on the way down, and my two friends were ahead of me at the time. They heard me screaming. They turned around. One of them saw me falling and then hit the snow. They took their skis off and ran up to see me. I think it took quite a few minutes because they'd been down the slope a bit. They got to me, and apparently I was blue, which must have been so scary for them. One of them was a trained medical lifesaver, so he put me in the right position. The other guy went to find help, and bearing in mind though, it was a beautiful start to the morning, beautiful sunny start, and then the snow had come back in again. So they had to shout, did lots of shouting. I think they did eventually find someone, but because of the snow, there was no way I was going to be heli lifted off, so they had to get me in a blood wagon. It took a long time for them to come though. When they eventually came, they put me, sort of strapped me up, whatever, took me down. I'm obviously remembering none of this because I was unconscious. And then by the time we got to hospital, from the initial fall to when we got to hospital, it had been 5 hours. So it had actually been quite a long time. It was then obviously that my friends, another friend who I wasn't with at the time, but she was like my sort of closest friend who knew my parents, so she had to phone my parents, and that was absolutely awful. I mean, it's things like that, finding out about how the accident I had affected other people and how it upset other people, and that's sort of the thing which gets me upset now. Now from obviously her having to phone my parents, they dropped everything, came out to see me straight away, and from there, I mean, not knowing what condition I was in must have absolutely petrified them. They eventually got got to the hospital, they were told that I was sort of I'd been induced into a coma. They would sort of, obviously the whole point of that is to let my brain sort of heal from all the wounds, and they didn't know how long I would be in the coma. After 2 weeks, so I've got two sisters and my parents. After 2 weeks, my two sisters and my father flew back home because they had to work, and my mother stayed out with me. And then after 3 weeks, I eventually was sort of taken out of a coma, and I came out. I do not remember anything. One of the main questions I get asked of, what's your first memory of coming out of a coma? I have absolutely no idea. Can't remember anything. I was then in France for another 2 weeks. I was in France for 5 weeks. I was then airlifted or flown back to England in a sort of private jet, which I don't remember, which is very sad because that'd be quite a good memory. Taken to Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge, and I was there for another 5 weeks. My first memory comes after about 3 weeks of being there, just seeing a friend. I think I was walking around the hospital, and he was sort of who I had been on the season with, and I mean, I didn't remember much. I wasn't particularly able to do much. The doctors had said you can't, you cannot work probably for 2 years, and it turns out that I had broken my back, I'd broken my neck, I had snapped my cruciate ligament, and I had hit my head, obviously so hard that I'd been induced into this coma for 3 weeks. So I was in a pretty bad state. So coming out of hospital and then going home, going back to my parents' house because I wasn't quite capable of looking after myself, was an absolute... so obviously going back to my parents was great, but for me, suddenly realising that I had so far to go before I could even begin to think that I was back to where I was before, I wasn't able to do my law anymore. I was just like, what am I going to do? And it is that moment when I hit rock bottom that I made the choice to either wallow in self-pity and just let it crush me and crumble me, or to just make the active decision to rise above it, which is what I did and why I'm here now. But there are a lot more stories and of what I did to get to where I am now, and it took a long time. But the whole point of this channel, the whole point of why I'm doing all of this, is to give other people inspiration to do it for themselves, because I could not be happier if I could help other people to make sort of such decisions, which means that they're going to be improving their life, because my life was really at the bottom and I managed to get to where I am now, and I'm going to keep going high. I'm going to keep going high, and I want this channel to get to talk to people. I want to reach as many people as possible. So please, please, please subscribe to this channel. Can you please share it to everyone? I'm not just going to be doing baking, although I'm called the Mindful Baker. I will be doing cooking. I will be doing exercise. I will be putting in motivational videos for all of these different things. I will be helping as many people as possible. So please share, get this Mindful Baker around, and yeah, let's just start this. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I really hope you're all well. I hope you're really keeping safe in whatever situation this keeps going with the corona thing, and hopefully in a number of months it will just be a memory, but we'll see. Guys, thanks so much. Please share, subscribe.